Hello again all, and welcome back to another War Thunder. Today I'm finally showcasing a German vehicle, and it's one of my all-time favourite combat vehicles of the German army in World War II, the StuG III. Today we're specifically talking about the A variant, the original model to see combat in the early war period. The StuG, as a series of vehicles, has its roots way back in the First World War. During offensive operations, the German army saw a need for a weapon system that could knock out fortifications that their own artillery couldn't range accurately. At this time, the laborious and incredibly dangerous task of bringing a howitzer forward to remove the hardpoint was generally ill-advised. This would eventually spawn Erich von Manstein's Sturmartillerie, or assault artillery concept. The idea involved infantry divisions being able to have a weapon that could keep up with them and be used to clear these hardpoints, so as to prevent the assault from bogging down into a stalemate. Decades later, in 1936, Daimler-Benz AG received an order to develop a support vehicle that mounted the 75mm howitzer within a casemate structure capable of traversing 25 degrees. The crew would be fully protected, and the vehicle would be no taller than the average soldier. Daimler-Benz started work and quickly chose the Panzer III chassis as the base hull for the vehicle. These would become Sturmgeschütz III, or assault gun. Developers would shorten the name to StuG, hence the common term. It would go on to become one of the most prolific assault vehicles in the German army, spawning many variants with a combined total production of 11,300. The A variant, however, only saw a tiny percentage, 36 being produced in total, before the B variant was developed. The StuG III featured a crew of 4, with a commander, loader, driver and gunner. The A model lacked a machine gun, so it would rely entirely on supporting infantry or other fighting vehicles to protect it from infantry assault should they get that close. Since it was built on the Panzer III chassis, it featured the same torsion system and had a total of 50mm frontal protection, with 30mm on the sides and rear. Since it was built to work as an infantry support gun, the A model was never intended to engage enemy armour. Lightly armoured targets, such as armoured cars and trucks or fortifications, were its primary target during the Battle for France, and for all intents and purposes, it had a good initial showing. Though they did encounter monsters of the battlefield, such as the Char B1 Bis, it was always supported by vehicles to counter such threats. As a final historical note here, the StuG was also the first vehicle to be used by future tank ace Michael Wittmann. In War Thunder, the StuG A is of course meant to fight tanks primarily, and despite its historic purpose, it can perform rather well at BR 2.3 in realistic battles. First note, don't bother with the HE rounds, they're worthless for those vehicles. Your best option here is the heat rounds when you can unlock them. With these you can easily crack heavy armour on vehicles such as the Matilda II or the Char B1, while their slower turrets will struggle to aim at you. With the speed available to you as well from the Panzer III chassis, you can easily fire and manoeuvre while tracking targets. It is rather easy as well as the StuG's relatively fast turn rate, despite being in a casemate. Though you do have decent frontal armour at 50mm, your sides are not that well protected, and anyone who can see you can knock out your tracks effectively, bricking the vehicle. This means you need to stay aware of enemy positioning if you can, and where your friendlies are, since their support will make the difference. Always try to work in tandem with another vehicle if you can, so they can try and track anything to your flanks, and if they're not, maybe they'll take the hit for you so you can find them and return fire. And, well, there you have it. The StuG III A in brief terms. The other StuGs in War Thunder will be covered in the future as well, but until then, have a good week all. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.